Hey guys, I just got back from a run, just got out of the shower, so I was just relaxing. I decided I'm gonna do a video real quick on what I never really elaborated on the final catalyst for my awakening. So I decided I could do a video on that and just try to explain my story a little better. I know when all this takes off and people find out what the fifth dimension is, and that's just the way we're heading, that's the way the earth is heading, um, they're gonna want to know more about light workers and earth angels and what they were put here to do and our stories, I'm sure, and um, why they had these certain paths and um, to give you skills and allow you to learn to be able to help other people get through all this. So I decided to do a video on that. So it's late, I'm just kind of relaxing, watching The Matrix right now. Anyway, so we'll get started. So I decided I'm not gonna go back super far. I'm just gonna kind of go back just probably the last couple years. So by this time, like, let's say like 2 years ago, I did know what a narcissist was. I went through a phase when I got older. I just had a lot of built up anger from, and guys, before I get into all this, I just wanna, I don't like judge anyone now, but obviously I did back then, especially in the fifth dimension. We're not supposed to judge anyone, especially if you haven't walked in their shoes, so just understand that, guys. Please don't judge anyone. I'm just telling my story. I have a pretty good relationship with everyone in my family, and basically everybody in my family had a tough childhood growing up. Like, I mean, everyone, all my grandparents, both my parents, and the cycle just keeps on repeating over and over and over again. It's really a lot, guys. I've seen a video where they're doing a study, and there's a kid that I mean, his mom, he's playing with blocks or something, and his mom's behind him, and all of a sudden a person walks in and gets in a fight with his mom to see how the child reacts. It wasn't even really a fight. The person said like 3 stern sentences to the mom, and the kid's like completely gets quiet. The kid stops moving, and I'm just like, oh my god, the damage that little thing caused. And it's just, the damage that can be caused with narcissistic parents, or parents that people that end up having children very young, like my parents. And like I said, my mom was always depressed, and she was always like sick. She passed away now, but it can just cause a lot of problems, and sometimes it seems like it just keeps repeating. And I really believe in the fifth dimension, all that will stop, and kids will have a lot better chance to be able to just be kids, and to be able to allow their personalities to really blossom, and they can really just find out who they are and have encouragement, and all that is so important. It's amazing, like, because like myself and my brothers, we didn't even really talk. We became so withdrawn. I mean, we heard that our entire lives too. Like, why don't you guys ever smile? Especially me. Why don't you ever smile? Why don't you ever talk? You always look like you're mad, or just became completely withdrawn, And like I said, my dad didn't have an easy childhood either, and just so on and so on. The same thing with my mom. But yeah, just please don't judge anyone. And like I said too, my dad, yeah, he has gotten a lot better too, because he loves his family so much. There's a lot of like narcissists I see that their parents or whatever, or whoever it is, they never get better. If anything, they get worse with old age. And my dad has changed a lot because he loves his family so much. But anyways, so I went through like a phase when I was in my early 20s where I just started to really get angry about my childhood and just the way we were treated and the way certain things happened, and I ended up really just letting all that anger out, and I ended up really kind of I guess falling out with my dad, and we got many fights, and like I said this in another video too, like multiple times he actually like walked away, and I like being older thinking about that now, that just really makes me, because like I said, he's not the type of guy to walk away from an altercation. So I think he kind of understood where I was coming from, and he didn't want like an altercation with his son because he does love us very much. But yeah, I went through a phase where I let out all that anger, and so I kind of got through that. But then at the same time, like I said, there's a lot of narcissists in my life, guys. A lot of family members, people I've worked for, as a journeyman carpenter and a foreman, just a lot. And so my final catalyst, I was basically working in Las Vegas as a foreman. My dad was a superintendent, and then he had his general foreman, a guy that he taught me a lot too. We've done a lot together. We work really well together. I mean, we like each other. we just work good together, and he liked me a lot. He likes my brothers a lot. But this particular person is a narcissist too, and it's just sad, you know, because he does have a lot of issues too. That's the thing with like narcissists and things like that. It's really sad because like these people are like your family, or people that are really close to you, almost like your family, but they do have problems, you know, and some don't get better. So it's sad, you know. It really is. So everything is going good. So we end up coming back to California. We're doing a job out here, and my older brother, it was not quite in LA. My older brother comes back. He starts doing layout on this job. My dad's a superintendent, and we have the general foreman, and then I'm a foreman. My dad ends up getting in a fight with the general contractor. He gets thrown off the job. First time in his, and he just ended up retiring, but first time in his career they actually pulled through with a threat. But anyways, so the general foreman becomes the superintendent, and he, I think he was really, I've seen him get like this before. He was just really stressed out. I seen him like this on another job, and he was kind of taking it out on my older brother. And it's so weird because, like I said, he loves my older brother. He literally, like, he loves him, you know. He's my, he likes all of us a lot. And we all like working together because, you know, we all know what we're doing. We can almost read each other's minds. But it was weird to see that. I remember seeing that back then. I was off, like, I had my own little, like, part of the job that was really cool, I liked, but my brother was working, like, in the main section of the job with him, and he was just the closest. My brother was the closest to him, and he just started taking everything out on him. I just remember, like, hearing him over the radio, and I was just like, man, what the hell is going on? Like, he loves my brother. Like, he literally brags about him all the time. Like, and I know, like, sometimes narcissists will, like, put people on a pedestal, but he actually does like us all, and I think we're all pretty well liked. Like, we're all pretty good at that job, especially my older brother. Definitely comes natural to him, but my younger brother too. We're all pretty good at it, you know, pretty good at it, definitely. Um, so this guy, so he takes over. He's a superintendent. My brother's doing the layout. My brother was doing a lot. He always does. I was a foreman. We ended up getting another superintendent and like another general foreman on the job. So he's just really stressed out. So he starts kind of like taking stuff out on me. Um, and it was just starting to get to the point. Like I said, if I mess something up or it costs the company money or something like that, you just have to take it. It is what it is. But if you're not actually doing anything wrong and they're just kind of stressed out about the job and maybe they're breaking up with their longtime girlfriend or wife or something, I'm not putting up with that. Um, it's just so weird. People get these like narcissists can switch like that. Like I remember I first came out to Vegas. Him and my dad were just, they were like so happy and just welcomed me with open arms, and they were just like, yeah, it's so good to have like good help out there. And I was um, just asked for a job. You know, I wasn't like, oh, give me this position. And he actually came to my dad and said, hey, did you ask him? About being a foreman? My dad was like, I haven't asked him yet. Do you want to be a foreman? I said, yeah, sure. And yeah, he was just happy to have me, and I started running a piece of that job and really took a lot of stress off him. He was under a lot of pressure with that job too because he didn't have any foremen. He was the general foreman out running around, taking care of every section of that job by himself. So he was really happy to have me. They immediately got me, you know, an iPad and everything, and it was all good. My older brother ended up coming to that job too, and then he really had it a lot easier too with both of us there. But anyway, so I'm working over there, and I was actually living with my two brothers. But like I said, guys, like growing up that way, it gets passed down so easy. Like the narcissist trait, it just happens. And then with my mom being sick and depressed all the time, she really didn't give us all that much attention. I would say my younger brother got the most attention when he was younger, but like I said, she was really sick and depressed all the time. She had kids so young. She didn't, like I said, I love my mom very much. She passed away, but she didn't really give us all that much attention, you know? Like I said, sometimes she just couldn't because she was sick and depressed, and then I think what helped with her depression, she started going to school to become an RN, and I don't know, I was definitely happy for her to do that, but at the same time, it did kind of like aggravate me a little bit as a kid, because I was like, what, she's putting all this like effort and time and money, look how much effort and time and money she's putting into this, like, you know, and I just felt like, how come you didn't put that, you know, on time and money and effort like into us? But like I said, I see women like on YouTube, they're 25 and have one kid with a husband that's able to work close to home and be home and makes $200,000 a year, and they get depressed and start crying. So I'm like, you know, until you walk in someone's shoes, you can't really judge them. But anyways, so I'm working over here kind of by LA. My dad gets thrown off the job. Another superintendent comes, but there's like two superintendents. I'm a foreman, my brother's doing layout, and I'm living, right before that happened, I'm living with my two brothers, but I was working in Vegas, so I was never even home. And when I would come back for a day and a half on the weekend, I would go up to the Banning Bench. I was actually having my spiritual awakening at that time. It was starting, and I didn't really realize what was happening. I was having the ascension symptoms, but I didn't know what it was. I was really feeling drawn to nature, so I was over there on the weekend. I was never even home, and my grandma was actually asking me yeah, just come move in here, just come move in here. She asked me like 5 or 6 times, and every time I just kind of blew her off and ignored her because I just knew that um, my brothers, they ended up inheriting that trait. I just knew that if I left, that probably things were gonna fall apart here and kind of collapse. And I was like, it'd be in my best interest to go up there, especially because I was feeling drawn to nature. I was having a spiritual awakening, but didn't know it. But I'm not like that. I don't just look at, even though that's a logical decision to make. Like these are two grown men. Yeah, that benefits me. It's not even a selfish decision, but I don't think that way. I just knew that if I left, things would collapse. But she just kept asking me, and then one of the times I was here, and there's so much I could go into. But I just couldn't. All the stuff that was going on, just felt like I was being taken advantage of over and over again. And eventually I just couldn't take it anymore, and I was just like, so I'm gonna stay here and just continue to be taken advantage of and around all this negative energy. I just and and I'm gonna not leave and go do something that's better for me just because I want to help these people. I was just like, that doesn't even make sense. I can't take it anymore. And I was going through the spiritual awakening too, so I wanted to be closer to nature, but I was willing to stay here just to continue to help them. But I was just like, maybe I need to leave, and they need to see what it's like when I'm gone. So I did. And so I ended up moving up here. I'm in nature as much as I can, but I'm still working a lot. And like I seen with this guy, he starts. My brother kind of has a higher position than me. He's doing the layout. So, and the other guy's a superintendent. He's not really gonna take it out on him. So he goes to me, and he starts just giving me a bunch of shit all the time. And like I said, it's not even like, oh, you effed that up, or oh, you were late, or like anything like that, or oh, you're not running these guys right, or you did that wrong, or oh, you rolled the forklift. Nothing like that. He was just angry and frustrated, and he starts to get in that cycle again. I've seen him do it to so many people. I've seen him do it to my brother that he actually loves. I mean, he likes all three of us a lot, myself and my two brothers, but I've seen that start to happen again, and I was just like, Jesus, here it comes. I was just like, well, it's basically, it's my turn now. And like I said, it got to the point where I just couldn't take that anymore. I was going through a spiritual awakening, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take it here. I ended up leaving, going up in the mountains, and after months and months of debating, I decided, you know what, I'm not taking his shit either. And I ended up quitting. I went off in the mountains, and I was just deep in the mountains for months every day, and everything was going pretty good, but the family member that I went to stay with is also a hardcore narcissist, and not getting better with age either. So I'm just kind of trying to go with the flow and trying to sweep stuff under the rug and just let stuff go. But there was a day that came, and the narcissist just came out of him again. And I just remember I was driving away, and I was just like, they're so nasty and negative. And I was just like, I started just thinking, why are you pretending like this person's not a full-blown narcissist? You knew that when you moved here. So I'm like, I leave here and go up there to try to get away from narcissist. Okay, so now I'm up here, and then I end up having to leave my job to get away from narcissist, and now I'm up here in the mountains going through a spiritual awakening, and I don't even really know what's happening. And then the narcissist starts to come out of this person up here too, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I felt so alone, and just, it was just sad. I was just like, this is just sad. Like, why, how come everyone I know, everyone I'm close to is like this? I don't understand. I was just like, these people are supposed to be rare, like 0.5 to 5% of the population. This doesn't make sense. So I end up looking it up. I was like, has anyone else gone through this? Like, why are so many of these people around me narcissists? I don't understand. And so I find out that, yes, there are some people that have gone through that, but they're saying that a lot of the times people go through that are called earth angels. And I'm like, an earth? So there are people that have gone through this, but they're called earth angels? What's an earth angel? And I start reading further into it, and just every single thing I read just completely relates to me 100%. And I just keep, and I'm just like completely in shock, because I was going through a spiritual awakening too. And then they start to talk about ascension symptoms, and I'm like, oh my God, that's what's going on with me right now. And you feel even closer to nature, and there's a massive list. And I was just like, Jesus, that's what I'm going through right now too. And so I start putting it all together, and as this happens, I start to ascend to the fifth dimension and feel completely different. And then all that happened. But basically the catalyst was having to leave here to try to get away from narcissists. But you know what I mean? I was still around them. I was still working for one. I ended up saying, you know what? That, I quit. And I'm like, I just can't be around negative energy right now. I was going through a spiritual awakening, didn't know it. So now I left 2 places to get away from them, and I'm up here in the mountains, being around nature and hiking, going through a spiritual awakening, having ascension symptoms, but I don't know what's going on. And then when that person started really showing their narcissistic side, which I knew was there, and now I'm like, now I gotta get away from here. Where do I go? And I ended up coming back home, but that really made me like wake up, and I was just like, it's not just like this person and this person and this person. I was like, it's almost my entire family that are like this. And not just them, but other people I'm close to. That really made me, I remember going outside at night on the mountain, and I was just like, I just felt really alone and just sad. And I was just like, I don't even have anyone to talk to. Like everyone I know is like this. And it was just so weird. But anyways, it was really 3 things that were the final catalyst, and that's what they were for me to start realizing that I was an earth angel, and that I was actually going through a spiritual awakening at that time. And that's why I did, one of the reasons I left to the mountains. And but it's all set up like that. God sets it up like that. A big part of earth angels is you learn so much. You're born into these families to help them, to help break the cycle, to help them, but really to learn too, so eventually you can help other people and help the whole planet, help the whole planet ascend to the 5th dimension. And so it's basically like training. So it's okay. It was all set up this way. I'm still okay with all these people. A lot of them are family, so it's all set up that way. It's all just training for the earth angels and for the light workers, but so it's all good. Just training. But I just wanted to make this quick video about my final catalyst for finding out I was an earth angel and realized I was going through a spiritual awakening. I ended up fully awakening about 2 months after that solar eclipse, and I didn't even take the eclipse seriously. And that's when I realized that I was in the 5th dimension and going higher. Anyway, so I'll wrap this video up right here. Thank you so much for watching.